had happened was.
So you would rather see young black men steady grow up with fathers?
No, what I would rather see is young black men do it the right way. Either have a good relationship with the mama and marry the mama and be in the home and take care of their children, or go be legally bound to their children through the courts if they can't live with the mama, and make sure that if something should happen to them, then their children are taken care of and provided for under whatever is legally available to them because their parent did the right thing. So what you're not gonna do, sir, what you're not gonna do is come in here telling me about what a black man needs to be.
Welcome to What Had Happened Was,
where we take a peek into actual court cases and give you commentary based on our unique perspective and experiences, and also give you informational tips and tricks to help you avoid a what had happened situation.
Before we get started, give us a thumbs up, a tasteful comment, subscribe to the channel to be notified of every video as they come out.
So what you ain't gonna do, sir, is bring that foolishness to me. Now, are you done talking?
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else you need to say to me about what I need to do when you didn't do what you were supposed to do to legitimize your children? Anything else you need to say to me?
Wow.
That was a mouthful.
People got to stop playing with this Zoom court, because y'all messing it up for everybody. This is what I'm saying. Y'all messing it up for everybody, because they're going to have people come in, because he is like dancing on contempt of court. Dancing. And
you think?
Put in the comments below if you remember the case that we covered where the witness wound up going into the jury box. In the jury box. Because she was going back and forth with the judge.
Yes.
And what state was that? Which judge was that? Put in the comments below.
About my responsibilities to your children. Anything else? What you need to do is help her pay some of this money when she was wilding out, because probably you had something to do with some of that she was going through.
Thank you.
So you might want to scrape together the money to help her take care of your black son.
Like I said, everybody pays.
Everybody pays?
Yeah, everybody pays. You see?
One way or another.
See, like I said, now the judge wants his attention. Hey, you got this case. It's probably your fault because this is something that happened because you're the domestic partner. So, since you're there, since you want to be so concerned and get involved, well, get involved. Shut up. Let's go. Ooh. Run that, son. Run that.
Yes.
She gave him the run that son.
That's the run that son. That is. She gave him the legal interpretation of run that son.
This is where it comes in right here. Run that son. This is where.
Run that for your son.
Yes.
Run that for your son.
Now the irony of this whole thing is the fact that I noticed in the comments a lot of people, in spite of the fact that these people riled the judge up like this, they still get upset with the judge, the way the judge reacted like the judge is a robot. The judge is not a robot.
She's holding back.
And she's holding back. Yeah.
She's actually holding back because she could have had him. It goes so back and forth because, at some point someone has to stop. And since she's the authority, she has to hold back and restrain herself and everything.
Here's the word, forbearance.
Yes,
the judge displayed forbearance for the way he conducted himself.
But I'm always curious to know.
Decorum.
I'm always curious to know that if they were in court in person, would you continue to act like that, or would you sit a little straighter?
Don't take me there, sir, because I advocate every single day for men to be good fathers. And you gonna tell me you ain't done nothing you supposed to do, but you gonna tell me I got a responsibility to your children? No, sir, I do not. I got a responsibility to the law.
Yes. People are reckless, whether they're in front of the judge or on the phone, video.
That's absolutely true.
They're just reckless, just saying anything to the judge, like the judge is just some random person on the street. Like, you could talk to anybody any kind of way and there's no repercussions or anything like that. And they don't think anything's gonna happen to them as a result of them saying this.
They don't. They forget that now they're getting concierge service for going to jail now because you acted up in your house and they come knock on your door and come get you. They think that they're not going to come get you. They're coming to get you.
Right. They're coming to get you.
You were still in court.
And you talking and I can't hear none of it because you muted.
Ma'am, can you ignore him, ma'am? Please.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be more than happy to do that. I'll be more than happy to do that. So back to where I was.
Now I'm feeling like he was trying to rile the judge up. Did he figure that he was gonna gaslight the judge, and then the judge was gonna be like, "Oh, that's it," and then now, because remember, she hasn't still been sentenced yet.
Who knows? So then
now that would be, and then he could step in and swoop in and get the kids. Well, not the baby goats.
Who knows these days?
The children. He could get the children and say, well, I have to take the children because, the mother's been arrested or whatever. You know what? This all, every time I see things like this, I always think of the underlying agenda that could be played out.
Right, or the ulterior motive.
Yeah, the ulterior
motive.
If he's twiddling his fingers and twirling his mustache, thinking about what he's gonna do.
You fall into my plot. I was waiting to start monologuing in a second, but the irony of this whole thing is this is where these problems happen. Now, suppose she's getting sentenced, and who knows? In spite of the fact that she's going to get sentenced, he still is not going to get those children because they're not legitimate.
So on the 12 months to serve 2 days, you can serve it on a weekend. Balance will be probated to pay $500. That's $737.50 with the surcharges. And the 50 hours of community service, you're to take a family violence intervention program, and you're to have no contact with Michael Bryant. And Mr. Michael Bryant is not you are the legal parent of the children. So if you do not want Mr. Bryant to have contact with his children, that's up to you. But he can't have any contact with you.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question about the 2 weekends, because I don't know if I went in jail for it or not, but I still have to serve the 2 days.
Yes, ma'am. But you can serve it on a weekend or.
When can I do?
And in spite of the fact that she has to go to jail, the judge is going to have her go to jail on the weekend to make it more, quote unquote, convenient for her to serve the time that she has to do. She still could say, I don't want the children to stay with their father while I go to jail for the weekend or while I do my community service.
Exactly. The judge just threw it back in his face about, since he was disrespectful with what he said to her, no decorum, she just threw it right back in his face that you still don't get these children.
If she decided, even while she's in jail, she's the only legal parent. But I don't know if people don't do it out of frustration or just ignorance, that why they don't do the legitimization process if they're not married. I'm not talking about people that, whatever their relationship. I'm talking about somebody in a relationship that wants, the best for the children. I don't know. And you know what I also wonder too? Like,
what's that?
How many with the legitimization, like what, because she can refuse the legitimization, but under what grounds? Does she just say no and it's just a blanket statement, or do they go back and ask?
Well, in the days of no-fault divorce, I guess you don't have to have any reason. I'm gonna come to that conclusion.
Yeah, but now we're talking, it's not just, you just don't want to be married. We're talking about children and the legitimization because now if something happens, he can't step in per se and say, these are my children. They say, well, yeah, I got a birth certificate because of the state that they live in.
Yes, but no fault means nobody's fault. I'm just out. So, yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about children. So
now I believe, as a result of the way legislature has changed, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she doesn't have to have a reason. It's just that she can refuse it.
Hold on now. It can be a non-traditional weekend. Like if you work Saturdays and Sundays, we can do a Monday and a Tuesday or Wednesday and a Thursday. And I will give you a week or so to report. So I'm not going to make you do it right tomorrow. We're going to talk about that, okay?
I work Monday through Friday, so I can do the weekend.
Okay, so I'll tell you how that's going to work in a minute. All right, so on count 5 in the case ending in 06344, that's 12 months probation to run concurrent. That means the run at the same time as 40 hours of community service and no contact with Mr. Michael Bryant.
And just like that, she got a 1-year vacation from him.
12 months.
12 months, because just in addition to being the father of her children, he's also the victim in this domestic.
Right.
So he cannot be around her. And just
And
like that also,
he can't be around the children because to be around the children, he has to be around her because she's the legal guardian of the children. She's the sole legal guardian of the children.
Yep, she's the custodian parent.
Yep.
And now, just like that, well, she has to work it out also because she don't have him to help, and all he can do is send money. That's it.
And now, it's the weird thing about it is that years later, when the children remember the situation, well, the 2-year-old may not remember anything, but the 10-year-old, what will they remember? Because, children have a different perspective.
Yep.
They remember, oh, I remember daddy wasn't around or whatever, and you sent mommy to jail, like all these other little things that happen. And children overhear things and they figure out stuff a lot more. And then now with the internet, it's not that hard to look up names now.
Right. And now, again, he also kind of helped her in addition, because by him being the way he was in court with the lack of decorum and very contemptible.
The judge is
now,
like, I can see.
Now the judge is giving her some leniency and working with her in her the deal in her
So
sentencing.
maybe this was their legal strategy. Who knows?
Who knows? If it was, it definitely worked.
He can send payments through child support enforcement. So if you want to set up a child support enforcement case, and he can send payments through that, you can do that. And that way you can receive money for your children. On the case, ending in 06345, you're entering a plea of nolo to count 1. That's 12 months to serve 2 days, balance probated and to pay a fine in the amount of $500. So that will run concurrent with the case 2022 CR 06344. So that means you're only going to have to serve 2 days. Okay. You're going to do all of these at the same time. So if it says 2 days, the same 2 days are going to take place for all of these. You get me?
And I just go in and I'm coming out in 2 days.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll explain that in a minute. So that on that case, it'll be 12 months. I'm sorry. The next part of that, part 5, is 12 months probation, 40 hours of community service. And that's the no contact again with Mr. Michael Bryant. Now, on the case ending in 06345, you're entering the nolo plea. That's 12 months to serve 2 days. That's going to run concurrent with the case ending in 06344. So you'll serve those 2 days at the same time. You're only going to do the 2 days. Balance will be probated for you to pay another fine in the amount of $500. So that's separate. On counts 2 and 3, those will be no prost. Count 4 is a nolo plea, and that's going to be a $100 fine, which is $151.50 with the surcharges. Count 5 is 12 months probation to pay a fine in the amount of $300. That'll be $444. And you'll also do a driver improvement course, but that'll run concurrent with the case ending in 05972. So all you'll have to do is one driver improvement course, okay? You'll have to pay the separate fines, but one driver improvement course will cover both of those. And then on
$2,000 worth of fines.
I'm sorry.
That's like $2,000 worth of fines.
Hold on, we're getting it. Yeah, it's about that. Hold on. So on the case ending in 06345, count 6 is a $50 fine. That's going to be $83.25. So let me see if 1, 2, 3. So the other option, Miss Gibson, is we could run one of these consecutive, and that means you would have 12 months, and then you would get an additional 12 months at the end of that if you were still paying off fines and fees, and that way you wouldn't have to try and pay all of this within the first 12 months. And so let me tell you how much it's going to be with the surcharges.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly.
So what I calculate is it's $2,891.25 with the surcharges. Now you got kids and you're working. If we want to do a consecutive, which means you'll still have more, you'll have 24 months to pay all of that as opposed to 12 months. If that would help you, I can do it that way.
I'd rather do the 12 because I'm just try to pay it all at one time.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
I have to pay it all at one time. I still be on probation.
Yes, ma'am, because you still got other stuff to do. You still got a family violence intervention program course to take. That's 24 weeks. You still got community service. Your community service adds up to 110 hours of community service is what I got.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. And now let's talk about the case. So the jail. So you work Monday through Friday. What you would do is you would turn yourself in on Friday evening between 6 and 7 p.m. You got to do it between those hours because that's the only time they do intake. You would be here at the Clayton County Jail. And then you would get out the following Sunday between 6 and 7. And so then you would have served your 2 days. So it's up to you when you want to start that. I can give you 1 to 2 weeks to get because you got kids. I can give you 1 to 2 weeks to get
I gotta situate to get somebody to watch them all weekend.
I got you.
And just like that, she got a 1-year vacation from him.
12 months.
12 months. Because just in addition to being the father of her children, he's also the victim in this domestic.
Right.
So he cannot be around her. And just
And
like that also.
he can't be around the children because to be around the children, he has to be around her because she's the legal guardian of the children. She's the sole legal guardian of the children.
Yep, she's the custodian parent.
Yep.
And now just like that, well, she has to work it out also because she don't have him to help, and all he can do is send money. That's it.
And now, it's the weird thing about it is that years later when the children remember the situation, well, the 2-year-old may not remember anything, but the 10-year-old, what will they remember? Because, children have a different perspective.
Yep.
They remember, I remember daddy wasn't around or whatever, and you sent mommy to jail, like all these other little things that happen, and children overhear things and they figure out stuff a lot more. And then now with the internet, it's not that hard to look up names now.
Right. And now, again, he also kind of helped her in addition because by him being the way he was in court with the lack of decorum and very contemptible.
The judge is
now,
like, I can see.
Now the judge is giving her some leniency and working with her in her the deal in her
So
sentencing.
maybe this was their legal strategy. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
If it was, it definitely worked.
So I'm looking at your calendar, my calendar, which 1 second. So today is the 4th.
January 26th, or this too far?
Hold on, let me see. Okay, January 26th is not outside the realm of possibility. That'll give the jail some time to process whatever's coming in over the holidays. And then you can turn yourself in on January 26th at between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. So let's say 6 p.m.
Okay.
Well, guess who's not going to be on, may not make the list?
Who's not going to make it?
Make the list of people who could watch the children.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. So he's not going to be babysitting.
Well, you don't babysit your own children.
Of course, I know
Yeah,
that.
you don't.
Know that,
And when people say they're babysitting their children, like, no.
You can watch your own children.
I'm here with my children. That's it.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter which parent it is. I'm here with my children.
Exactly.
And then you'll get out on that following Sunday at 6 p.m.
All righty.
All right. Now, Ms. Gibson, now we back on track. I understand. Like I said, there's sometimes when people go through some things. You got me? But you see the consequences of you can't ride fast with your babies in the car. That's just, you might have been leaving a situation, but you always got to make sure your babies are safe. That's your primary job as their mom. You get me?
Yes.
They didn't ask to be here, but when we bring them here, it's our responsibility to make sure they are safe.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I see you working. I see you trying to do. So I'm trying to give you as much of a, consideration as I can.
Yes.
But let's just be the last time we meet like this, okay?
And he could technically use this against her. Every time you get arrested, because it's a domestic violence charge. And he could say, you see, Your Honor, she had to stay away from me for a year because of the domestic violence situation. And she even went to jail. And she had to be on probation. All these things. Every time you get arrested, every time it makes a bad history. It gets worse and worse and worse.
It will. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Carmichael. Mr. Carmichael is going to do your intake for probation, and he's going to explain everything that you need to know about probation. This is what I stress. Probation officers here are amazing, and they will do the best that they possibly can to help you successfully complete. If you work with them, they'll work with you. And they sometimes will come on, on your behalf and ask, okay, well, she can't do this, but can she do that? Can we do this instead of that? They will advocate for you if you are upfront with them, okay? If you have any issues, please bring that to their attention. Don't just let it go like, I couldn't do such a, no, let your probation officer know. And the quickest way to get rearrested and to mess up on probation is to miss a probation report, okay? If you got something going on, you tell them ahead of time. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Carmichael.
Thanks for watching.
And also give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified of every video as they come up. And get that algorithm going and help us build this channel in 2024.
And make sure that you don't wind up in a what had happened situation.